Good afternoon to one and all present in this first technical session of this 2 days online seminar. Once again, I welcome you all on the behalf of School of Management Studies and Commerce, Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani, in this 2 days online seminar. The resource person for this technical session, first technical session of this seminar, is Professor Pavan Kumar Singh sir, Director MDI, Gurgaon. For his formal introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Manjari Agarwal to please formally introduce our resource person with our participants and august audience. Dr. Manjari Agarwal.
Thank you, sir. Well, it is indeed a great honor and privilege in introducing Dr. Pavan Kumar Singh, sir, who is known for using innovative approaches in education, building talent of the faculty, and enabling collaborative process in the institutional activities. His unparalleled commitment, devotion, and enthusiasm are manifested not only in classrooms, but in administrative practices as well. Professor Pavan Kumar Singh is at present working as Director of MDI, that is Management Development Institute, Gurugram. Previously, he has worked as Director in charge of Indian Institute of Management, Indore, and Chair Academic Committee of Indian Institute of Management, Sambalpur. As Nodal Officer of IIM Sambalpur, he played a sheet anchor role in establishing the new institute in its initial phase. Dr. Singh has long experience in teaching, training, research, consulting, and academic administration. He has published research articles in national and international journals and has presented papers in various conferences in India and abroad. He has written 2 books in the field of management. He has trained more than 15,000 executives of all levels from almost all walks of profession. He has provided consultancy to public and private sector organizations. He has been on the editorial board of reputed journals and has been member of various high-profile committees of government bodies and academic institutions. Dr. Singh has been invited as speaker on many occasions, and his discussions have been broadcasted on television and radios. Dr. Singh has been in academics at postgraduate level for more than 3 decades. He has worked as a professor of organizational behavior and human resource management at IIMS Indore. Before that, he worked with National Institute of Industrial Engineering, Mumbai, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, Kanpur University, and Vikram University at Ujjain. He started his career at Bank of India as Industrial Relation Officer. Dr. Singh is PhD in management and postgraduate in personnel management, as well as economics. He has attended certificate program in research at London School of Economics and Political Science and cleared UGC JRF in its very year of introduction. His hobbies include music, poetry, cricket, astronomy, and reading scriptures. I don't want to waste any moment of his busy schedule, sir, and I request you to kindly deliver your address on the topic, behavioral issues for self-reliance.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manjari ji. I hope I am audible and properly visible also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. First of all, let me say that thank you very much for giving me a chance to be vicariously present in wonderful place called Haldwani. It gives me a feeling that I'm actually physically there, and I'm tasting the fragrance of Uttarakhand, the Dev Bhumi, and wonderful area of Kumaon. For next 45 minutes, or maybe now only 40 minutes, we have opportunity to be with together, and I'm highly thankful to Uttarakhand Open University, Haldwani, for this wonderful occasion to be together and to be journeying on a very, very apt topic. And the topic of the conference, very aptly chosen, is strategic thinking about movement from global to local. And now my session would be on behavioral issues of self-reliance. and Honorable Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University, Professor OPS Negi ji, whom I was listening to the inaugural session, and very, very important contribution he did through his insightful speech in this conference. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, Professor Nageshwar Rao Sahab, who was keynote speaker in the very inaugural session. Director of School of Management and Commerce of the university, Professor Ramesh Chandra Mishra Sahab, and your speech was very pinpointed and focused during the beginning of the inaugural session. Organizing Secretary, Dr. Manjari ji, Dr. Gagan ji, Dr. Sumit ji, the entire technical team of the seminar, entire family of Uttarakhand Open University Haldwani, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say some of my remembrance of Uttarakhand Open University. Once I have visited Uttarakhand Open University Haldwani campus, and I was given opportunity to interact with students on entrepreneurship and thinking for their own career building. A kind of counseling conference was there. I met there Professor Manjari ji and was well received by the university. Professor Ramesh Chandra Mishra Sahab also, I have already interacted during my visit to that university. And one thing more, that the erstwhile Vice Chancellor of Uttarakhand Open University and present Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, Dr. Nageshwar Rao Sahab, has been always kind to me. And I found that in his speech also, he remembered me twice. That is nothing but his love for me. And we worked together and tried to build an institution called Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Business Management of Vikram University. We worked together, and for 6 years we worked together, and we tried to lift that institute to a certain level. And now that institute is working well. That is to our satisfaction. So let me say I am very happy to be with you all, and thank you all for giving the opportunity. And when topic was being discussed by Professor Mishra ji and Professor Manjari ji, I said that I can speak on economics, I can speak on international trade, but because basically my PG are in two areas, one is economics and other is personnel management. And later on I had chosen to do PhD in personnel management, which is now known as human resource management. When I did my PG in personnel management, human resource management terminology was not available. So I did my PG in personnel management and further PhD in field of management. And for last 30 years, I'm working in the field of behavioral science. So we decided, and you all agreed kindly, that topic, behavioral issues of self-reliance, would be very relevant in this discussion. And I'm very happy to present my views. And this is just a kind of reminder to all the learned listeners, and a kind of some kind of provoking I may do, which actually lesson for me, because in any of my speech, I'm the first listener of that speech. And I'm very kind, I'm very happy that you have very kindly chosen to be with us during this 40 minutes, let us say, discussion. Strategic thinking about movement from global to local. I will focus on few words in this topic itself from behavioral angle. And one set of words is strategic thinking. What is that? Then movement from global to local. What is global and what is local? Because we learned teachers will not stand having misunderstood this topic, but I have sometime a doubt that our tender-minded students who are between the age of, let us say, 18 to 25, sometime there may be a danger of misunderstanding that what do we mean exactly by moving from global to local. I'll focus on that also because that is a conference theme, seminar theme. And I will certainly discuss on the theme given to me, behavioral issues of self-reliance. First of all, I would like to bring one example which will start focusing on the seminar theme as well as this session theme. I was at one point of time for 3-4 days in Gangotri. And then I was with my parents. They were healthy. They are still around and they are healthy, but they were not capable of climbing from Gangotri to Gomukh. So I decided also myself not to go up to Gomukh, but to at least take some kilometers walk on the Gomukh track, because Gomukh was very, very attractive to us. But because parents were waiting at Gangotri, we decided not to go up to Gomukh. So while few kilometers going towards Gomukh, we met various persons who were coming back from Gomukh. And out of various persons coming back, many of them appear to be foreigners by their appearance or so. I decided to talk with these foreigners coming from Gomukh area. And at least 10 of them I talked separately. I asked them, how did you like that place? I have seen in the photograph only. I'm enjoying the fervor of Gangotri. I have never gone to Gomukh. How did you like that? What is your background? Which country do you belong to? Which part of the world you have gone to? And out of 10, almost 9 said that they were avid travelers in various parts of the world. They belong to good family. They could afford to go to various parts of the world. They belong to rich countries. They belong to rich families. 9 out of 10 said, compared to the area of Gomukh and where we are standing now, no area of the world can stand comparison. I asked them, do you mean to say that the snow-capped hills of southern New Zealand or Alps of Switzerland or various other beautiful hill area of the world, they don't stand any comparison? And almost all of them said, no one can stand before the grandeur and beauty of Himalayas, and especially of Uttarakhand area, and especially of Gomukh area. Why I brought this example to you? There is a reason. And this reason is complete connection with the topic of the conference and complete connection of the topic of my session. Why I brought this example, that 9 out of 10 foreigners told me that no area of the world, and they were avid travelers, can compare the beauty of Uttarakhand and especially the area between Gangotri and Gomukh. This I brought with one simple reason, that you see, for people of Uttarakhand, for people of India, Gangotri is a local place. Gomukh is a local place for inhabitants of Uttarakhand. But its beauty cannot be compared with any part of the world. It means, though it is local, at global level it is competing. Not only competing, it is unparalleled. You see, Himalaya is unparalleled. People talk about Alps, that if you ask a question to most of the persons in the world, which is the hilly area in the world which is most sought after by travelers, the answer would be, in general, Alps series, Alps range of mountains in Europe, which spreads from, let us say, area of, France, Switzerland, Italy, and goes up to Austria in the east. And some part of Germany also, southern part of Germany. Now, this beauty of Alps is great, no doubt. But Alps height is only 5,500 feet. And because the country through which it passes, they are mostly better off than us economically. They develop tourist spots better. But can that be compared with the grandeur of Himalaya, which goes up to the height of almost 10,000 feet at Mount Everest? Cannot be compared. So whatever we have is uncomparable. Himalaya is local. One part of Himalaya is local to India. At global level, it is competing. Similarly, when we talk into economic terms and we say that we have to move from global to local, it does not mean that we can hide behind only being local and being chauvinistic It means that once we move from global to local, the local produce that we do must stand at global level. Otherwise, local will not stand because global products are available everywhere. That is the deeper meaning. Global to local does not mean any kind of compromise. Global to local means tightening the belt and improving the local products or local distribution to the international level. Then only there is beauty of being local. That's why local here means local that can compete at global level. That is one meaning. Similarly, I would like to say, some of us, and especially students, may get confused that just recently in 1991, and 1991 is not far phenomenon. It is only 30 years back, 27 years back, 1991, 92, 93. We started emphasizing on globalization, on opening up of the economy, on internationalization. And suddenly in 2020, we are talking about moving from global to local. What we are doing? Why this back and forth? Why we are behaving like pendulum? I'd like to say, especially to students, younger minds, that there is no confusion. That in 1993, we talked about going for globalization. And in 2000, we are talking about making a movement from global to local. There is no confusion between these two, though these two statements apparently appear to be fully anomalous. ये बिल्कुल संगतहीन दिख रहे हैं, लेकिन है पूरे संगत के साथ. यही खोजना है. You have to understand that what is appearing as anomalous peripherally basically is in full congruence deeply, because when we say movement from global to local, it has a deeper meaning. You see, Stephen Covey and many others have emphasized that when economy grows, when country grows, when society grows, when individual grows, the movement takes place in 3 steps. The first step is dependence or dependent. The second step is independence or independent. But the third step is interdependent or interdependence. So movement is from dependence to independence to interdependence. Now, from this angle, if we see, there is no difference between we chanting in 1991 globalization and now we emphasizing in 2020 movement from global to local. There is no confusion, no space for confusion. Why? See, in 1991, because the economy were closed, because some nations were closed, and it was telling upon the competitive advantage of various economy, the theory of, let us say, Bertil Ohlin of international trade, who said about competitive advantage applied, that unless you open your doors and windows, there would not be competitive advantage. And if every economy opens the doors and windows, basically there would be advantage passing on through all the economies. Because that was a contextual truth. Only universal truth is truth for all time. But sometimes contextual truth also has to be respected. That was those days. But now in 2020, fine, we have opened the doors, we have opened the windows, we have opened the economy. But unless we promote the talent available here, the competitive advantage available here, say for example, 20 or 25 years back, I used to wear normal clothes, good clothes, 25 years back. But for the last 15 years, I started purchasing because my age also grew. I wanted some better quality of clothes. Stretchable nylon will not suit my skin. So about 15 years back, I went to some branded clothes shops for purchasing my clothes. But for the last 7 to 8 years, I have found other way. For example, the clothes that I'm wearing now, my shirt, is one of the highest quality clothes in the world. I can say based on my some limited experience of using clothes of various branded quality. But the clothes which I'm wearing now, and for last 7 to 8 years, I have made this as a habit. This is made by Odisha Handloom. And you take any brand which I have used, top brands I have used also in 10 years, 15 years back in my practice. But this Odisha Handloom cloth, half shirt, very high quality cotton, can be compared to any branded clothes of the world. Because we have seen some clothes, high quality clothes in Germany, in France, in England, in US, in India. Why we can't use, and this gives me such a wonderful comfort, why this, what is called as sadri or bandi, and this cloth is basically Odisha Handloom. Wonderful to wear. And only in winter season, I need to have, let us say, full sleeve clothes with coat or whatever. But this cloth during 8 months or out of 12 months in India is most wonderful cloth. We need not to go to any brand. I don't want to name any brand. I'm not against any brand. I may purchase a brand also, which is from outside country, but I don't feel like. एक होता है दबाव, एक होता है जिद, एक होता है दिखावा कि नहीं मैं पहनूंगा ही नहीं. I will not wear foreign brand. भाई उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. You have better brand than foreign. You need not to shout that I will not use foreign brand. You have a brand, Odisha Handloom, which is called as Boyanika and also called as Utkalika. I remember that. I'm sorry, I don't want to advertise their names, but still, this is the cloth. But because it is the highest quality cloth which I have experienced, I'll continue using it. There's no vouching for, but because as a consumer, I'm using it. The meaning of global to local actually pumps in us with great responsibility in terms of quality produce. And if we have quality produce, there is a natural shift from global to local. Please remember, Indian ethos always says about natural shift. झटके से कहीं भी हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति ने किसी चीज को महिमा मंडित नहीं किया है. You see, there is one stotra of Shiva, basically chanted more in Shravan. उसको कहते हैं महामृत्युंजय मंत्र, which was given by none other than Markandeya Rishi. And it is said Markandeya Rishi himself was born with lines on the palm or with horoscope, which was indicating that he is Alpayu. He would be short-lived person. He would not be able to live longer. And then he narrated Shiv Tandava Stotra, chanted it, and became person of very, very long life. And what Shiv Tandava Stotra, this Mahamrityunjaya Stotra says, Urvaruk meu bandhanan mrityor mokshiyamamritat. It says that like a ripened fruit in a natural process, I should be plucked out from my own stem as a ripened kharbuja or any fruit very naturally gets separated from its own stem. भारतीय संस्कृति में झटके का कहीं कोई भी स्थान नहीं है. In Indian culture, which is actually wisdom, there is no for plucking anything or separating anything or bringing any theme or bringing any philosophy or bringing any idea with a jerk. It has always narrated, propounded, suggested, preached natural flow. And that's why Rig Veda says, Ritasya yatha preta. Ritasya means rhythm. It is Rig Veda Vachan. Ritasya yatha preta. Ritasya means rhythm. That rhythm, preta means, oh creatures, live like that. Means, oh creature, create a tuning with the nature and be available to natural flow of the existence. Be available with the natural flow of the existence. Don't fight with it. So we should know very clearly that when we shift from postulate A to B in 1991 from local to global, now we are shifting from global to local. It has to be natural phenomenon and understanding deeply that there is no great confusion between these two apparently anomalous statements, because global to local means we should develop global level quality products at local level, because each locality, each geography of the world, whole world is beautiful. By saying that I am Indian, I'm not saying that non-Indians are not lovable. One should be chauvinistic. Oh, sorry, one should be patriotic, but not chauvinistic. Chauvinistic कहते हैं अति राष्ट्रवाद को, कि मुझे अपने राष्ट्र को प्रेम करने के लिए अपने पड़ोसी से घृणा करनी ही पड़ेगी. That is chauvinism. And patriotism means I love my country, and any country around me in the world, all are lovable, because we are custodian of Sarvajan Hitaya, Sarvajan Sukhaya. We are custodian of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. How we can dislike our neighbors or any other country? But point is that the strength which is with us, within our country, that need not to be neglected. And India is such a wonderful country. I have to only praise for India, not because I'm born in India simply, because India is custodian of world wisdom, number one. India is very resourceful country, number two. Number three, you imagine any kind of tourist spots, all types of spots are here. For example, in order to enjoy forest, you have to go to a particular country. In order to enjoy rivers, you have to go to a particular country. In order to enjoy mountains, you have to go to a particular country. In order to enjoy desert and its beauty, because desert has its own beauty, you have to go to a particular country. But you want to enjoy anything in the world, come to India, and we have desert, we have forest, we have Devabhumi, we have ocean, we have rivers, we have dense forest, we have open space. We have, in Gujarat, we have open space and open desert, and we have deep desert west of Jodhpur. We have everything. Now, once we have everything, and we are actually a small, let us say, replica of the whole world's capabilities in terms of resources, in terms of tourist spot, in terms of technology, in terms of natural resources, we have to look towards ourselves. Somewhere related to my topic, behavioral issues, I think one of the greatest problem is that we forget that what is our strength. Like Hanumanji, it is said he was cursed by rishis because he had engulfed sun when he was child. He engulfed sun inside his mouth. Everywhere there was darkness, and rishi said that, hey Hanuman, you created disturbance in the nature, so you will keep forgetting your strength unless we remind you. इसीलिए उनको remind करना पड़ता है. That's why in Kishkindha Kand, in Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas writes that Jambant is reminding the strength of Hanuman. We have become cursed Hanuman. We have strength of Hanuman, but we are cursed. Unless somebody reminds, we are not able to actually remember our own strength. I'll tell you one small experience. I was traveling from a country, foreign country, to India, and one lady who was sitting by my side, she started talking with me that aeroplane is going to India, and by my appearance, she guessed. She said, "You are from India." I said, "Yes." But by her appearance, I could not understand she's from France or Germany or Austria or England, because all appear similar to me. So I asked which country you belong to. She said, "I belong to Austria." And she was coming from Paris to India. I asked her, "Are you a frequent traveler?" She said, "Yes, I go to India often." And her age was about 4 or 5 years elder to me, she appeared to me. So I thought she's a lady of wisdom. I asked next question, what do you like most about India? And what do you not like most about India? Would you like to share? And she was very happy to receive my question. And she said that most likable thing in India is that India is a place of variety and welcomes anyone with open arms. India is a country of warmth. It has all varieties possible for human beings. I said, fine, I understood. Let me know from you, what do you not like about India? What you dislike about India most, thing? Because that will be a lesson for us. And then she said, after pondering, that she did not like that, especially Indian youth, they are great imitators and they do not believe in their originality. I said, are you sure what you're saying? Then she said, this is the most disliking aspect, according to her, about India, that Indian youth basically imitate and they do not live with their originality. That was a shocking statement to me, of course, but I like her statement because being a teacher, when she's a frequent traveler, and actually she used to travel to Haridwar and one another place, Annamalai. Later on, I asked, what attracts you to India? Then she said that she's an entrepreneur already, very rich person in Austria, but two places especially she visits, Haridwar and Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu frequently. Then a hint is, I'm actually discussing a hint that we are getting. Imitation basically does not lead to self-reliance. Unless we search our own originality, there is no scope to create self-reliant mind. And that's why our emphasis has to be on original thinking. On original thinking. Original thinking in the field of education of management that we are engaged into, or commerce we are engaged into, or business or economics we are engaged into. Original thinking. Many times I also find when 9 months back I shifted to this MDI Gurgaon, and I worked for long with National Institute of Industrial Engineering or Indira Gandhi National University or Indian Institute of Management. In my institute name, every time India or nation is coming, but I used to think always, what is Indian in my education? Is imitating and just teaching something which is being taught elsewhere is enough? And we take accolades of that. We must produce, not because we want to show ourselves as different. No individual should try to look as different. But if you have originality, you will do something original. And as a byproduct, you appear to be looking differently. And that we should aim for. We should not aim for looking differently, but we should aim for doing something original. And that would actually give us a look that is different. That's the point. I'll just say that Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is the genesis of moving from, let us say, concept of moving from global to local, or my topic, let us say, behavioral issues of self-reliance, these all are focusing towards 2 or 3 important points. First of all, I would come to the 3 words set, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Quickly, I would like to say, Atmanirbhar Bharat is also Atma Nirbhar Bharat. Atma means self, the core of self, the central point of self. And if I am convinced with something, I find originality and I find that endeavor will lead to benefit for many, I must be convinced to take that endeavor on. Atmanirbhar Bharat is also Atma Nirbhar Bharat. That requires lots of originality. And Atmanirbhar Bharat again indicates to the old wisdom which was shared by Gautam Buddha, because Gautam Buddha was asked by someone, especially it is said he was asked by Anand, his cousin, show me the path. And then he had said, Appadipo Bhava. This is a sentence in Pali literature. And Gautam Buddha said, Appadipo Bhava. Be your own lamp. Be your own light. Look towards yourself. So as an individual, I should look towards myself. As a family, I should look towards the family's core concept, core values. As a society, we should look towards ourselves. As a nation, we should look towards ourselves. So either at individual level or at collective level, unless we are drawn by that centripetal force which draws us inside and helps us to go into our, let us say, introvert zone, ponder over things, and then bring out new things outside. Actually, you see, our education system also is like that. Before Corona, what do you think? How many workshops on personality development might be getting conducted in India on average per day? workshop on personality development in India getting conducted on average per day before Corona? How many? Guess? My guess would be at least 500. कम से कम 500 कार्यशाला प्रतिदिन तो पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट पे चलते ही थे हिंदुस्तान में. इतना पॉपुलर टॉपिक है. But what generally we teach? Generally we teach what we imitate from others. Typical personality development workshop within India also, what we discuss? We simply discuss that you are lacking something. Something is not within you. You come to my workshop, I will supply that thing. It will be added to you and your personality would be developed. Fine. If I'm lacking something, you give me some skills, I will add and my personality would be developed. This type of things we have been doing and we have been doing. Nothing wrong, I'm saying. I'm not finding any fault. But Indian wisdom says that your personality is already developed. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. You are already full. Nothing can be added to you. And if something is added to infinity, infinity plus 1 is also infinity. Infinity plus infinity is also infinity. Infinity minus infinity is also infinity. Nothing can be added to you. Then how I will develop my personality? Indian wisdom says that you are already full, but you are something more than required. You are like a full brimming lake. You are like a lake brimming with water. पानी की कमी नहीं है. But you have also gathered some thickness of moss. काई की एक परत भी जमा लिए हैं हम लोग अपनी personality पर. So what to be done? Remove that layer of the moss and your fully developed personality. Typically, our approach becomes personality development is deleting process, whereas typical management capsule says personality development is additive process. Indian wisdom says personality development is deleting process. See, 180-degree turn. But don't get confused. We should not get confused that something is talking A, something is talking B. Both are leading towards the same direction that we should be fully blossomed. हम कली से फूल बन जाए, हम कली से पुष्प बन जाए. यही है ना personality development. Both are aiming towards the same objective. But whereas Western approach aims from a different angle that something should be added to you, the Indian approach says that something to be deleted from you. And what are to be deleted? 6 impurities to be deleted, Shad Vikaras to be deleted, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsar, Ahankar to be deleted. See, Indian approach. And let me tell you, and you might have also experienced, when we talk about Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad or Veda's wisdom hidden there and maybe useful for managers, typically, I'm not, please don't mistake me and don't misunderstand me. Typically, many of us from India, we listen with half attention. But many of the brothers and sisters from foreign countries to whom Veda and Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita are not naturally available, when they understand these things, they are listening with rapt attention. Eyes open, jaw dropped, fully mesmerized, completely in surprise that whether this kind of wisdom is available on this earth. They do not know. And actually, Indian wisdom is not Indian wisdom in one sense. Indian wisdom is world wisdom, of which India is custodian. Indian geographical part is custodian of world wisdom. And that's why I am proud of being Indian. Not simply because I am born in India. Because Indians, they have reason to charge with that self-confidence and joy, that the custodian of world wisdom. And this is spreading throughout. In US, in Germany, in Europe, in Australia, Indian wisdom is being taught. And that's why we need to also look towards our own original sources. And that's why I gave you example of personality development. Though approach is fully 180-degree different from the Western approach, purpose may be same, but our approach has a special touch. It says personality development is deleting process. I would like to come to emblem of Uttarakhand Open University. An emblem of Uttarakhand Open University says one sutra from Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, 39th shloka. And first part is taken as emblem of your university, which says, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. This is emblem, part of the emblem of Uttarakhand Open University. But Sanskrit is a very typical language, you see. I am going in English has to be said in the same sequence. Going am I will become incorrect, or going I am will become incorrect. But in Sanskrit, if you use the sequence of the words in the sentence meaning will not be lost. It is so elastic in language. इसलिए जरा ध्यान दीजिएगा. श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम. By repeating this thing, we started thinking that one who has shraddha or devotion will receive knowledge. But you have to see the full sentence of that sutra, chapter number 4 and shloka number 19, which says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, tatparah sanyatendriyah. श्रद्धावान को ज्ञान मिलता है, सिर्फ यही नहीं कहा गया है, कहा यह गया है, आई विल रिपीट इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, श्रद्धावान जो श्रद्धावान है, जो तत्पर हैं और जिनकी इंद्रियां संयत है, उनको ज्ञान मिलता है, ऐसा कहा गया है. यू हैव टू रीड द फुल सेंटेंस. संस्कृत के साथ यही है, आप बीच से शुरू करिए, शुरू से शुरू करिए, अंत से शुरू करिए, संस्कृत सेंटेंस विल नॉट लूज इट्स मीनिंग. So basically the sentence should have been Shraddhavan Tatparah Sanyatendriyah Labhate Jnanam. Those who are endowed with 3 characteristics will become knowledgeable. What are these 3 characteristics? Shraddhavan. One has to be devoted towards knowledge and towards the knowledge giver. Second, has to be Tatparah. Tatparah here means endowed with resources. Without resources, we cannot have knowledge. Right resources. For example, Uttarakhand Open University, or let us say Central University of Open Education System of India, that is Indira Gandhi National Open University. They already know the science and art of online education. But other institutes, say where I am working now, MDI Gurgaon, or IIM Indore, or Indore University, or Delhi University, which were not equipped with online education so much before COVID, during COVID, are shifting from traditional face-to-face education to online education. What is this? They are creating the endowment, the resources to be capable of disseminating knowledge during COVID. यह है तत्पर का अर्थ. It means basically you must have the right kind of infrastructure. You see, why today China is being quoted many times, and now we are saying that China is empowering us. I find, you see, in economics, we say that there are 3 sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary. Primary sector means based on natural resources like forest, like river, or like coal mining, etc., or agriculture. Secondary sector, manufacturing. Tertiary sector, services. You see, China actually developed through their own plan in a sequential way. Primary sector first, then secondary sector, that is manufacturing, then tertiary sector. Indian economy typically, it was developing its primary sector, it was developing its secondary sector also during 50s and 60s and 70s, but without actually going for capital deepening in secondary sector, we took a bypass and went towards tertiary sector, and suddenly our 65% of economy, or even now more, is getting contributed through tertiary sector in total GDP pie. Now, what is the difference between growth from manufacturing sector, secondary sector oriented growth, and tertiary sector oriented growth? The difference, 2 differences I would like to highlight. When the entire economy is developing on tertiary sector based growth, the growth becomes faster, but its longevity is not there, Because typically the nature of tertiary sector is that when consumption is being done, with that process, the product gets eloped. Tertiary sector is seva, the service sector. What does that mean? The time during which you are enjoying that service, and when you complete taking the joy of service, by that time, the product, that is service, itself gets eloped. But in case of manufacturing sector, I can use, let us say, this mouse many a times. It is a manufactured product. It is a manufactured product. I'm using it. I was using it yesterday. I'm using it today. I'll use it tomorrow. I can use this mobile. I can use this pen many times. So, because typically in service sector, the product gets eloped by the time your consumption is over. That's why the longevity or the multiplier or the, let us say, the acceleration effect of service sector on economy is not in long run felt. And because India bypassed for certain reason the secondary sector and its growth simply moved from primary to tertiary sector, by bypassing secondary, that's why we are having this issue. And that's why in 2020, that's why during COVID, when 20 lakh crores investment amount is being declared by Honorable Prime Minister, and when we are now emphasizing on MSME, what actually we are doing? We are simply now saying that, hey, secondary sector should not have been bypassed. We should have focused there. We are coming back from there. From 1991 to 2020, saying that secondary sector, manufacturing sector, other through MSME. Jawaharlal Nehru ji in 1950-51 started emphasizing huge size industry. But now we are also saying that MSME also needed, because manufacturing we need. And there is a difference between Make in India and Made in India. Make in India is a shortcut route compared to Made in India. Because Make in India means come and make in India. We will give you earth, geographical space. But Made in India means we have created conceptually that product. We have created the production process. We have created the infrastructure. We have done the manufacturing. We have done the R&D, and we are competing at the global level. So, though we are emphasizing on Make in India for last 5-6 years, especially since in 2014 BJP government came, but I would like academicians to think about, fine, Make in India, we should promote, but we have to ultimately move towards that classical slogan, Made in India, means conceptualized in India, manufactured in India, research and development developed in India, and it is not only being sold in India, but sold throughout the world. So we have to also think about that. We should not lose sight of Made in India, Make in India to Made in India. That's why, come back to the emblem, जो श्रद्धावान है and तत्पर है, one who is endowed with the resources and the infrastructure, and Sanyatendriya, one who is basically controlling one's sense organs, they will achieve knowledge. So we need to be more oriented, especially in COVID time. I pray for everybody's good health, good mental health, because three things must be emphasized now at individual level: physical good health and creativity and cheerfulness. These three things needed. And for that, Corona is also teaching us that we should be extrovert, but due introvertness, which is salt of your personality, must get emphasized. And now we are forced to emphasize Sanyatendriya. Tatpara means we must have infrastructure, equipments, or let us say whatever resources we need to deploy for certain manufacturing or services, and of course, Shraddhavan. So we have to learn also from our emblem. From very close vicinities we can learn. So I would like to end my discussion now by saying, just summarizing within 2 minutes, that we need to be self-reliant in terms of quantity and quality of products, manufacturing processes of products. We need to be self-reliant in terms of mental thoughts, originality, and let us say our education system. And especially we need to tell to the whole world that we have world wisdom which can be reflected from the geography of India, and that will be highly useful for any corner of the world. One Firat Gorakhpuri, great poet, said about India, "ए दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी कौम, तुझको सलाम। ए दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी कौम, तुझको सलाम। ऋषियों ने दिए तुझे वह राज़े दवाम। कहते हैं जिसे रूहे रवाने तहजीब, मुजमर है जिनमें जिंदगी के पैगाम." He is saying, "ए दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी कौम सलाम." Salute to the country with oldest wisdom, that is India. "ए दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी कौम, तुझे सलाम। ऋषियों ने दिए तुझे वह राज़े दवाम." राज़े दवाम कहते हैं स्थायित्व का रहस्य, the secret of stability. ऋषियों ने दिए तुझे वह राज़े दवाम, कहते हैं जिसे रूहे रवाने तहजीब, जिसको जिंदगी जीने का सलीका कहते हैं जिसे रूहे रवाने तहजीब, मुजमर है जिनमें जिंदगी के पैगाम। मुजमर का तो छुपा हुआ, जिस जिंदगी के पैगाम छुपे हुए हैं, ऐसे देश को सलाम करते हैं वो। ऐसे देश को दुनिया सलाम कर रही है, सिर्फ बचे हैं हम ही लोग जो सलाम करने को बचे हुए हैं। इसलिए हम अपने पैरों पे खड़े हों, अपने पर भरोसा रखें, हमारी परंपराओं पर, हमारे विजडम पर, हमारे रिसोर्सेस पर, और जिसको दुनिया सलाम करना चाह रही है उसे हम कम से कम सलाम करना शुरू कर दें। एंड दैट इज द रियल मीनिंग ऑफ मूविंग फ्रॉम ग्लोबल टू लोकल. Global to local will not make us myopic. Global to local will help us to become self-reliant, stand on our feet, and to say to our world that, hey, here we are worthy citizens of the world, and here we have to contribute to the world. Thank you very much. I exceeded by 10 minutes, and I'm highly thankful and grateful to you for giving me opportunity to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable insights on various behavioral issues for self-reliance. And I am very much ensure that all of our participants must be benefited by on your valuable thoughts on self-reliance. Now, I invite 3 or 4 participants. If they have any question with respect to the first technical session, they can raise their hand, and I will unmute their audio or video. If they have any question, they can raise their hand. 3 or 4 participants, those who are connecting with us in this first technical session. I think there is no question, sir. Thank you very much. And I invite now Dr. Manjari Agarwal to present vote of thanks for this first technical session. Dr. Manjari Agarwal.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So seriously, the session was really insightful and informative. We have well noted, and it is truly said that this movement from global to local brings us a responsibility and the challenge, of course, and for bringing this global quality and quantity products at the local level. So we have to develop we have to take initiatives, we have to take many steps in various dimensions, in various directions, right from manufacturing to processes, as you said, and approach and education. So all holistic or all multifarious perspectives shall be taken into account for this movement or this shift, as you say, a natural shift. So, sir, thank you, sir, for sharing such a pertinent ideas on behavioral issues for self-reliance with us. The session was really loaded with many issues which have to be explored for behavioral perspective for switching from global to local. Your session was full of relevant mantras and valuable information regarding this natural shift. I will not say now a paradigm shift, I will say it's a natural shift. So thank you once again for your thought-provoking address, sir, on behalf of the School of Management Studies and Commerce, and on my personal behalf too. I would like to express my gratitude for accepting request and gracing the technical session with your kind presence. The session has really benefited us. I'm also thankful to all the dignitaries, experts, directors of various schools, and participants for gracing the occasion. Thank you so much, sir. Over to Gagan, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Too
sir.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
All the best. All the best for tomorrow's sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now there is an announcement for all the participants that tomorrow the first technical session of this 2 days next seminar will start on 11 a.m. in the morning, and I request you all to kindly rejoin us with the same link. So thank you very much for all the participants for connecting with us. Thank you very much.